Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to dive into one of the most famous stories ever told. It's about a very special king, but one who was nothing like what anyone expected. It's a story packed with hope, wonder, and a very, very humble beginning.
So, when you hear the word king, what's the first thing that pops into your head? I bet you're thinking of a huge castle, right? A shiny gold crown, maybe piles and piles of treasure. And you know what? That's what most people imagined back then too. But the king in our story? He is going to completely surprise you.
Yeah, the king in our story was totally different. As you can see, he basically traded a castle for a stable. Instead of a golden crown, his world was filled with love. And instead of riches and power, he brought something way more valuable, a message of heavenly truth.
So, how did this incredible king arrive? Well, our story kicks off with a journey, a really long and tiring one actually. We're going to follow two people, Mary and Joseph, as they travel from their hometown of Nazareth.
Okay, so here's what happened. It all started because the Roman Emperor Caesar Augustus made a new rule. Everyone had to travel back to their family's original hometown. For Mary and Joseph, this meant a tough, multi-day trip, probably on foot, all the way to a town called Bethlehem. Can you even imagine how exhausted they must have been when they finally got there, just desperate to find a safe, warm place to rest? But when they finally get to Bethlehem, they run into a huge problem. Because of the emperor's new rule, the town was absolutely packed with people. They looked everywhere, but they couldn't find a single room. Not one.
I mean, just try to put yourself in their shoes for a second. They're worn out from their long trip, they know a baby is coming very soon, and every single door is closed to them. Sorry, no room here. They searched the whole town, but there was just no space left for them.
Finally, the only place they could find any shelter at all was in a simple stable, a place where animals were kept. And it was right there, in this rough, humble spot, that the most important baby in the entire world was born. He was called the Redeemer, which means he was the one who came to rescue and save everyone.
All right, so let's switch gears for a second. Out in the fields near Bethlehem, a group of shepherds are just doing their job, watching over their sheep during the quiet night. And these guys, they have no idea that the greatest event in all of history is happening just a short walk away.
And get this, while everything on earth was quiet and most people were asleep, the heavens above were absolutely buzzing with excitement. An entire host of angels was gathered over the hills of Bethlehem, just ready to share the most amazing news ever.
And then, bam, out of nowhere, the night sky just lights up. An angel of the Lord appears right in front of the shepherds. Of course, they were totally terrified. Who wouldn't be? But the angel tells them, "Don't be afraid. I'm here to bring you the best news you've ever heard. News of great joy for everybody."
The angel explains that a savior, the one who would rescue the world, had just been born. But the angel tells them how they'll find this new king. And this is the part that's just mind-blowing. He says, don't look in a palace. The sign will be a baby, all wrapped up in cloth, lying in a manger, which, is basically an animal's food bowl. This was a king like no one had ever seen before.
And then, as if that wasn't incredible enough, the whole sky just explodes with light and angels. Suddenly, that first angel is joined by a massive choir of angels, filling the night with this brilliant glory. And their voices all come together in this powerful song, praising God and promising peace on earth.
So as soon as the angels were gone and the sky went back to normal, the shepherds were just buzzing. They look at each other like, did that really just happen? We have to go see this. They don't even hesitate. They just take off running into town. And they find everything exactly like the angels said. Mary, Joseph, and the little baby lying in a manger.
Okay, so that's an amazing story, right? But it's so much more than just a story. It has this really deep meaning that's just as important for us today. And it all boils down to God's incredible love. And this right here is what makes the whole thing so powerful. I mean, really think about what was given up. Jesus left a throne of glory in heaven where he was worshipped by angels. He traded infinite power for the helplessness of a tiny baby and the perfection of heaven for a simple manger surrounded by animals.
So you got to ask, why? Why do all this? And the answer is so simple, but so huge. It was love. God sent his son to become one of us, to understand what it's really like to be human, to share in our good times and our hard times. He did this to make the path of life sure for every single one of us. That incredible gift is the true heart of the Christmas story.
You know, on that first Christmas night, it felt like the distance between heaven and earth just vanished. The shepherds literally heard angels singing. But the most amazing part of this story is its promise that heaven can feel just as close to us today as it did to those shepherds all that time ago. So that leaves us with one last thing to think about. How can we feel that closeness in our own lives?